Hello and welcome to the Gadgets and Gizmos show on Headlines Today, and this is a show where we satisfy your technology hunger for the week. I'm Siddhartha Sharma, and over the next half an hour we've lined up a power-packed show for you guys. So let's tell you what's the lineup on the show this week. On the show this week, Microsoft says bye-bye to Nokia. We review the new Vibe X by Lenovo. GTA 5 comes for the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. Okay, then that was the lineup on the show. Now, every time you open up your browser and type google.co.in or google.com, you see a Google Doodle on it. It animates sometimes, it dances sometimes, and it also reminds you of a historical event. Last week was no different. Last week we celebrated Children's Day on the 14th of November. And Google, as per usual, did their Google Doodle competition for children in India. And the winner this time around was a bit special. Let's take a look at this story.
The Doodle for Google competition is an annual Google India event. It was launched in 2009 and is open to students from grades 1 to 10 who are invited to design the Google Doodle to celebrate Children's Day in the country. The theme for this year's competition was a place in India I wish to visit, which saw record-breaking titles of over 1 million from more than 1,700 schools across 50 cities. The final 12 doodles were shortlisted and put up for online voting, and boy, they were creative.
So, in terms of submissions, right, it's, it doesn't have that iteration step. And so it's kind of a one-shot, does this doodle meet all the criteria? And so it's amazing, that we get such high-quality submissions that are great the first time and that we can filter from there. Of the million submissions, that's a huge amount of participation this year. And so filtering those down to, 12 winners is very difficult and ended up with very high-quality submissions this year.
Culminating in the 6th edition of Doodle for Google contest, Google India announced Vedahi Reddy as the winner of this year's Doodle design competition. Chosen among 12 finalists, the resident of Pune couldn't be happier as her birthday also happens to be on Children's Day.
I had done it from my school last year and I didn't have enough time because I'm a very slow person. So for this doodle I took 3 days. It is my tribute to the army and to all of India, not just a Sam.
So the winner this year has a birthday on the 14th of November. So she can see her doodle on Children's Day on her birthday, seen by millions of Indians across India on the Google homepage. I think it's fantastic.
Over the years, doodles on the Google homepage have made search on Google more fun and enjoyable for its users worldwide. When doodles were first created, nobody had anticipated how popular and integral they would become to the Google search experience. And Google has been encouraging talented students across India to design doodles on Children's Day, encouraging art along with education.
Happy Children's Day!
Now, keeping to the theme of Children's Day, children in the modern 21st century are very technologically savvy. Parents do try to keep a check on their technology habits, and children, of course, love to entertain themselves and play games on tablets while learning. So we thought, why not give you some top must-have apps this Children's Week? Kids love to play games on their smart devices, and this Children's Day we thought let's tell you about some apps that will help them in learning while entertaining themselves. First we have Motion Maths Pizza. It is an innovative educational app that teaches kids about basic economics. Kids get a startup budget of $50 which they can use to buy pizza ingredients. Kids use these ingredients to make, name and price up to 3 different kinds of pizzas. Then they open their shop and must calculate the correct prices for each customer's order. If kids take too long to fill an order, or if the pizza is priced too high, customers will disappear with a poof. Kids learn a valuable lesson. running a successful business requires important maths and reasoning skills to properly budget money and keep customers satisfied. This app is available on iOS and Android devices. Next, we have DRAWNIMAL. This is an absolutely fab idea, getting children to draw the outer bits of animals, legs, ears, whiskers, and so on around their phone or iPad before the device provides an animated face. There is an animal for every letter of the alphabet, and many of them will make parents and kids alike laugh out loud. This is a free app on Android and iOS. And then there is Squigglefish. This app is a digital aquarium, but the problem is it's an empty one. That is where your child comes in, drawing and coloring in fish with real pencils and pens on real paper, then scanning them in to swim around in the app. The fun comes in seeing how many different fish they can create. Squigglefish is available on iPad. Last app is the one that has over 10 million downloads. QuizUp is a trivia app to boost the general knowledge of your kid. On QuizUp, players can compete with friends or about 25 million QuizUp players from all over the world in exciting real-time trivia matches. Users will find over 4 lakh questions in more than 550 topics, and the new topics are added on every week. So you don't have to worry about ever running out of trivia to test your knowledge on. Players can discover their specialities and take on opponents who share their interests. Now, we often see smartphones come out in the market, and last week was no different. Lenovo came out with their new Vive X2. It's a smartphone layered with design elements. How is it layered? Is it good? Is it bad? Well, Sahil Gupta, Assistant Editor, ITGD, up next tells you all about the new smartphone from Lenovo.
Lenovo is the third largest smartphone maker in the world. Internationally and also in India, it has been making a lot of headway with its products, particularly its budget phones. This is the new Lenovo Vive X2. Its main calling card is design and functionality. Let's see if this phone is worth the money. Now, design is the biggest calling card of this phone. Lenovo has used 3 layers of magnesium to form the frame, which looks quite fantastic and unique. Build quality wise, this phone feels really solid, but ergonomics, because of the boxy design and the monolithic like frame, is not exactly fantastic. On the front, this phone has a 5-inch display. It's an IPS panel and it has got a 1080p resolution. The bezels on the sides of the screen are very thin, so Lenovo hasn't really wasted a lot of space with this device. Overall, the screen quality is very good viewing angles and good color fidelity, and it's also quite bright to view under daylight. Internally, this phone is powered by MediaTek's latest 6595 octa-core CPU, which has an ARM Cortex A15, A17 and A7 architecture. It's based on ARM's big little architecture, and the main claim to fame of this chip is that its performance is comparable to a Qualcomm Snapdragon 801. There is also 2 GB of RAM and 32 GB of internal memory. There is no micro SD card slot. Overall, for laymen, this means the performance of this phone is going to be comparable or a little better than, say, a phone like a Galaxy S5 or an HTC One M8. On the back, Lenovo has added a 13 megapixel camera with an LED flash. On the front, there's a 5 megapixel camera, which is decent for selfies. The camera quality, frankly speaking, is average at best. It's good than some of the phones in the market, but it's clearly not the best out there. For around 25,000 bucks, this phone is a great buy. It has good design, great performance. It's actually a very smooth phone to use. But there are some interesting competitors like the Huawei Honor 5, and now you can even get the Google Nexus 5 for around 25,000 bucks. But the battery life of this phone is better than the Nexus 5, and the camera is slightly better, and even in terms of design and display quality, this phone is superior. The interface is not as smooth as pure Android, but overall it's quite simple to use. Having said that, there are a couple of negatives about this phone. The interface is not as fluid as, say, a Nexus 5, and the interface seems to be inspired by iOS. In fact, this is a story that repeats itself repeatedly because most Chinese phones don't have an app drawer and they have got these cartoony icons and widgets all on the home screen, and this is also found in the Lenovo.
Now you can never get enough of Bluetooth speakers, can you? Logitech, as per usual, has launched a plethora of products this month around. And last week we showed you the X100 portable wireless Bluetooth speaker. And this week we've got the Big Daddy X300. Next up, the review. The Logitech X300 is ready to go anywhere. It's a wireless stereo speakers with a sturdy and attractive design. The front and the sides of the speakers are covered with what looks like a grill made from plastic, while the top, back and the bottom of the speakers are covered with textured rubber, which helps in ensuring that the speaker doesn't slip on any surface while music is being played at the maximum volume. The X300 made a real impression on us visually with its clean lines and bright colors. But the real impact this speaker makes is when you turn the volume up, and the X300 can pack a pretty big sonic punch for its small size. The speaker has a 4-driver system with 2 front-firing active drivers and 2 side-mounted bass drivers. You won't be overwhelmed by the bass, but it's certainly more pronounced thanks to those drivers. The speakers are of course Bluetooth compatible and worked very well with our Xperia Z3. Audio quality was very decent and there was very little distortion at higher volumes. Available in a range of colors, the speakers ship with only a micro USB cable for charging its 5-hour battery. Overall, the Logitech X300 is a pretty decent wireless speaker. It's by no means a breathtaking speaker, but for a price tag of Rs 5,990, we didn't expect it to be rather. It's a respectable, inexpensive option that's worthy of our general recommendation here at Gadgets and Gizmos. And with that, it's time for us to take a very small break on the show, but you guys don't go anywhere because there's a lot more action coming your way on the other side.